Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm just going to be going over this gameplay and talking about how to snowball as a jungle when you have winning lanes and how to kind of close out a game really smoothly. So this game is going to look like a bit of a stomp because it is a stomp, but I want to just explain, we're just going to skip through and kind of go through the different decision making I make to make this game really easily be able to be a stomp. So obviously a lot of times people want to figure out how to play when they have losing lanes. They're like, you know, Talon, how do I win when all my laners are losing, when everyone's feeding, whatever. But what's equally as important and what people don't worry about enough is how to win when it's an easy win instead of throwing games or doing things like that. And so that's what I'm going to focus on in this gameplay, is what to do when you do have winning lanes. Of course, you know, again, you're going to have games where you have losing lanes. I have videos on how to play with losing lanes, but I think a lot of people don't actually know how to close out games smoothly. And so that's just what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the early game as well, talk about how we get into a positive position when we have good laners, and then how we close that out. I will be coughing again because I have a lingering cough, so sorry about that. But either way, we're just going to do a normal full clear as echo. That's typically what you're going to do. That's just the best thing, like, you know, most of the time on echo is to go for the full clear. Then after that, because we saw their jungler topside, I wanted to go to the bottom side scuttle, so we get the bottom side scuttle. And now, because our teammate, he got an early kill, we can take turret plates. And so that's the first thing you can do when you have winning lanes, is stay to take turret plates. So notice how here, my teammate got a kill, and so I ended up going and getting the plate with him, and then, you know, covering so he can't get ganked by the Riven. So that's the first thing. You can kind of extend your teammate's leads and get a bit of, you know, extra gold onto yourself through turret plates when they're winning their lane early on like that. So now, after we ended up double scuttling them and farming efficiently and everything, we're just going to go right back to farming now that our red side's spawning. So most of the time, you're going to spend your, you know, first clear, full clearing like you do, then you look for a gank, then around 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you're going to have your next camps respawning again. So in this case, you know, the camps I started on, the Krugs, they respawn, and so now I would go for them. I had a bit of time then to recall, and that's the time that I used to spend my 2,000 gold that we had from getting an advantage to our laners and through farming efficiently, so that now we're in a stronger place. So it's really, the early game is kind of a cycle of farming your camps as they're up, then when your camps are not up, you can look for a gank. After you've looked for a gank and done that, you can look for a quick recall, and then you can go right back to farming because your camps will start respawning by that time. So that's exactly what you see here. We have our camps respawning, so we farm them, and then now we look for a fight because we see a really easy fight, and I've cleared most of my camps. Now I do skip one camp in this case just because I thought maybe I have an angle to actually go for a kill, but most of the time you're going to end up going for all of your camps, and then just afterwards going for the gank or whatever. But in this case, we just ended up skipping our blue, and then we take a bit of an invade after. So that's another thing you can do when your laners are doing well, is look for the invades, because you're going to have lane prio. And so when you have lane prio, it's going to be a lot easier to get those invades off and everything like that, which is exactly why we're able to invade pretty easily there. And then we just try going for this scuttle. And again, we can be more aggressive for these things because of the fact that we have winning lanes. So whenever you have winning lanes, you get to be more aggressive onto the objectives. You get to start them right away. You get to invade. You get to just have a lot more luxury to do a lot more things. Notice how we have about 5 seconds before the objective spawning, and I use that time to farm my bluff instead of just wasting those 5 seconds. I'm always trying to use my time really efficiently. And then we're going to now go for a scuttle, or for a herald, after we kill the dragon. And that's another thing, is oftentimes you can use the fact that you get an objective right away to then go to the other objective when you're really ahead and when your laners are doing really well. So that's exactly what we did there. We didn't end up getting the herald, but we contested it, and then we're able to win the fight afterwards. So a lot of times you can have the best of both worlds. If the enemy are contesting you like they were here, you know, on the dragon they contested us, and then they didn't end up getting the objective, so they kind of wasted that time. We used that time to then rotate and try to get both objectives. And then after winning the fight, we invade. So again, notice how I'm always looking to invade after fights are won, after the enemy are killed, because I have the much stronger like team, so I just have these angles to invade because they're doing better. And so these invades are a really good way to continue snowballing the game and allow yourself to, you know, further your advantage. And so again, we get that free invade off, and then because our Jax is here, we end up being able to take the fight as well, just right around this Riven, and then we end up killing them. So you can kind of see again that aggression that we utilize to snowball these games, just through using our lane priority to invade, to look for ganks, to get every objective that we can and really force as much as we can. And then now we go back to farming. So again, notice how now that the objectives have been fought over and everything like that. We kind of use that time efficiently. We now have all of our camps respawning, and so we're going to go right back to farming every single camp right away. So they're going to respawn at a similar time as well because we're farming them at the same time, which means that we can then go back to them again in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes when they respawn, and we're going to be in a great spot. So you can just see how we're constantly using that pressure to really snowball, and we're already up 10k gold as a team. And so when you're up this much as a team, it's okay if one of your teammates dies randomly for an objective or whatever. You don't really have to, or like if there's no objective up, I mean, you don't really have to worry about that. The only thing the only time you really have to worry about your teammates dying and that you have to like cover your teammates is when the objective is spawning soon. So if an objective is spawning soon, then you need to make sure you're staying around your teammates so that you guys don't throw the game or anything by randomly dying. But in a case like this where there's no objective up and nothing to do, you should just play for invades and turret plates. Those are going to be or turrets rather. Those are going to be the two main things. And so notice out here, I'm looking for the turret. We get the turret and then we force a fight after because we are pretty strong. But it's again, playing around those turrets is usually how we can end up getting, you know, a further lead. And then we go for the invade again afterwards. So we're constantly kind of keeping pressure in their jungle and then using that pressure to take turrets, using the fact that we've taken the turrets to then go and take their, you know, other camps as well. And then once our camps respawn, we go back. So notice again how my camps are all spawning at a similar time, and that's because we cleared them last time at a similar time. So when you keep clearing them, you know, over and over again at a similar time, they'll respawn, and then you can farm them all at once. Here I recall because the objective is spawning. And then notice how I'm not even rushing to get to the objective. I just end up farming my camps to get to the objective, and then I go there afterwards, because the enemy can't really contest. And so just making good use of your time and being really efficient is really important. And then again, I have another timer on their jungle camp because we invaded it earlier. And so we're just constantly invading and taking advantage of that because we have, again, the better laners, our teammates are doing better, and we just constantly apply this pressure. And so again, it's a stomp, and I'm just showing you guys why it's a stomp. I understand it's not an entertaining game to watch in terms of the gameplay, and that's why I'm skipping through. We're just showing you guys, again, what's happening. You see how I'm spending a lot of my time in their jungle, and then whenever my camps come up, I'm like, okay, let me quickly go, you know, farm these right away, recall for my item, and then go right back to forcing as much as we can. And so again, we force another objective because we're up so much. The enemy can't really do much because we've taken all of their camps, we've taken their turrets, they're getting pushed really far, we have a lot of vision, and so we're just able to easily sneak an objective like that. Now, it's important to not just flip an objective when you're really ahead if the enemy jungle could be nearby. In this case, we just knew their teammates were topside, and we had vision pretty well, so it's kind of hard for them to ever really approach without us seeing them. But just be aware that that could be a potential mistake that you could make. So you just don't want to be, you know, throwing the game by over-forcing an objective for no reason. But like I said, in this case, we kind of knew we could do that. And so again, we just go forward now, and notice how we're pushing a side lane as well. I'm not just going in A-ramming with our lead, I'm using the Baron to push a side. And then we have someone pushing a different side, so basically we're just focusing again on those turrets. So notice how, to snowball the game, I'm focusing on the turrets. Because we're so far ahead, if they do try to fight me, I'm going to end up killing them. But these turrets are how we're actually going to end the game, right? So I'm really focusing on getting those turrets more than anything else. And then we do end up forcing a fight afterwards onto Volley Bear, where we do end up getting a nice little kill onto him. And I believe we kill Morgana as well. We do. And then we just end the game there. So a very straightforward game, right? And a shorter video, I know, but I just wanted to kind of explain to you guys how you can snowball a game really effectively, how you can play as a jungler when you do have winning lanes and when your team is doing well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I do coaching for $15 an hour. Just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, if you're interested in that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later.